just knew that God was going to provide one way or the other. Didn't matter to me how, but God was going to provide. And I prayed, and my spirit, I felt the impression of the Holy Spirit saying, go forward. You see, it's not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. And with the unctioning of the Holy Spirit bidding me to go forth, I went and asked my friend to leave me at the car lot, which was miles away from home, and where I was living there was no public transportation. And they obeyed. When I got there, I walked into the car dealership and I asked to speak to the owner. And they said that he would not be available right then. And I said, I will wait. And they came back and they told me it would be quite a while before he could see me, if at all, today. And I said, if it takes all day, I will wait. For I believed in my heart that since the Holy Spirit bid me to go forth, there was some assignment at this car dealership that I had, that involved my car. Whether it meant that my car would be given back to me or not was not my concern. But my concern was doing the assignment that God had ordained as to the place where my car was. And so I waited. And as I waited, I began to pray. Just to pray and ask the Lord to let me be sensitive to his bidding and to the Holy Spirit. And less than 20 minutes, the owner of that dealership came forth. His name, I believe, was Mr., let's just call him Mr. Allen. And he asked me, how can I help you? And I told him, I said, I am a minister, an itinerant minister on the field, and I need my car for transportation. And my notes are behind right now, but I need time to catch them up. And I told him how I wanted my payments reduced, and then I told him I didn't want to be penalized because I was several months behind. And then I told him in that payment I wanted my insurance to be included in the reduced amount that I asked for, and that I needed my car, and I was hoping and believing that I could go home today and be through with all this ordeal. And then I apologized to him for having taken up his time. And then I just relaxed. And there was a long silence for a while, and then he spoke after being beat red. And he said, I'll be back, but I got to go for a few minutes. And he left, and about 15 minutes or so he came back, and I was still sitting there. And he came back and he said, do you realize that your car payment is 3 months behind? I said, yes, sir, I do. He says, and you're asking me to reduce your car payment and to not penalize you for the late fee and to attach the insurance of the car into the reduced payment that you're asking for? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, excuse me, I got to go away for a few minutes. I said, take your time, I'll be here. And about 15 or 20 some minutes later, again, he came back. And he says, you can have what you want. Please, just take your car and leave. Well, needless to say, I took the car and I left. And in time, the Lord did provide the money for me to catch the car payment up. And the miracle part of this again was the very last payment. I was unable to make it. I got a note from the bank saying they were getting ready to take the car this time. The bank was going to take it. And somehow or another, that last payment got the request for the payment got rerouted to my brother, who I hadn't spoken to in some 5 years. In fact, the address that was rerouted to him, as he told me, the mailman had the address of a neighbor several houses down the block from him. But because he knew my brother, he gave the mail to my brother. Having not spoken to my brother in some 5 years, and he made that last payment to me and said to me, oh, by the way, it was on my birthday that the bank was going to foreclose, repossess the car. He said to me, happy birthday. So not only did God, through the testing, prove my faith, but he touched the heart of the car dealer, and whatever God had did to him, God did it by me being there. He touched the heart and caused reconciliation between a sister and her brother, and he reduced and paid off my car. My point is, you don't know what the result of your testing is going to be. But one thing that you must know, it will prove forth a more glorious you if you go through and allow the Holy Spirit to make of you what it has designed to make of you. For you are the fullness of the Godhead bodily. You are not flesh and blood. You are spirit. You have the fullness of the risen Spirit of Christ within you. For the words that we speak, they are spirit and they are life. You will make it. Congregation, pastor, leader, give God his first. Give God his first. Let him have the first fruits and leave the results up to God. What do you have that is more precious than your covenant, your bond, your pledge, your commitment to God? Nothing. Whereas Paul said, I count it all done, that I might attain the excellency of Christ, to be like him, to know him in the fellowship of his suffering and the fullness of his resurrection.